And they don't take people's words for wisdom. And that is the connection that I find between you up here on the stage and all of you in this audience. You don't take words for wisdom. And you're very fussy about what wisdom you take. And because of that, we have a group of heroes growing Eden Alternative worldwide. And one of the things that Chris Perna said this morning was when he explains what Eden Alternative is, he doesn't say Eden Alternative. He says Eden Alternative International. And you should be proud of that, because what this group of people know is that they couldn't have done it without you. And we at the Eden office couldn't have grown the materials that we have without you. So there's this huge connection between all of you, and it shall never be broken, only get stronger. So I have the honor to introduce these people, and would you look? Going to go. So here they are. This is Rain from South Africa. Now, when you talk about budgets, don't talk to Rain. There is no budget. There's no running water. And he's making Eden Alternative thrive. So he's a good person to get some reality check about the personal and organizational transformation piece of it. Cheryl from Canada. Cheryl is actually one of the founders of the international piece of the Eden Alternative. She's been there from the very beginning with Bill and Jude, growing it. And her partner, and part of it is Sue Ellen somewhere. Yeah, there they are. And they have actually been the wisdom of helping us push through and reminding us at all times that we're international piece of it, right? That's your role in life. Then we have Denmark here. We have Osa. Did I get him in close? Okay. How do you actually say it?
Åse.
All of you back. Did they get close?
Fine.
Fine. And we have Karen, and this is how I say it, and how do you say it?
Karin.
So now I get a little break with the names, and we have June from the UK. This is June. And June has also been working with the Eden Alternative for a very long time and helping us figure out the pieces of how do we make this work worldwide. So thank you. Then we have another person, I can say their name, Sally. And Sally has really grown Eden Alternative in a similar fashion that of America. They have a board of directors and have both for Australia and New Zealand. And they are just really thriving, and all of these people are actually where people go to get connected with us internationally, and you're a main focus of that. Okay, my last one, here we go. And Redevik, I know I wreck your name every time, so here we go.
Ranveig.
Ranveig. I'm going to turn it over to all of them to have them share your story with you. One of the things that we love in the Eden Home office is to get this wonderful material that's in these foreign languages, you know, Japanese, Iceland. We go, good stuff, good stuff. We just hope that, and trust that they are really representing all of you throughout the country, and they're doing a great, great job. So who is first up here? Rain, here you go, Rain. I'm going to pass this back to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Carol. And I'm sure I speak on behalf of everyone that we are so privileged to have Carol as our mother. Isn't she just the most amazing person? Yeah, thank you, Carol. I am incredibly excited about being here. I'm like a child, I just can't get enough. I'm going to talk about identity. And one of the things that I have found in working with people who work in aged care is that we are so good at trying to find out who are you, and that we are so good at giving care, but that most of us really, really suck at answering the question, who am I? Plato said that if you really want to understand the human spirit, the soul, which I believe is where our identity lies, he said that the human soul is like a chariot with two horses. The one horse being spirit, the other horse being appetite. And the man in charge of the chariot, or the person in charge of the chariot rather, is reason. Now when you think about it, we all have the spirit, and this spirit is galloping forth. But then comes this thing called appetite. And whether that is an appetite for life, or an appetite for money, or an appetite for status, whatever it is, that is how the human soul actually is put together. And it takes reason. It takes reason. And for me, reason is that contemplation. To stop asking, who are you? And really go back to asking yourself, who am I? And what I try to do when it comes to explaining identity is to ask people to really take time out of this busy schedule of aged care, and to go and sit under a tree and do some non-judgmental self-reflection. Non-judgmental self-reflection. And find out, where does my spirit go? Where does my appetite go? And really take charge of reason to get to, who am I? Now, I find it very interesting that Tom Kitwood's work is still held as the definitive work on personhood and identity. And it is definitive. But I think in our world of aged care, we should move beyond that. And sadly, I think Tom Kitwood just didn't live long enough to explore this further. And I said this yesterday, that yes, he said that personhood is a status that is bestowed upon one person by another within a social context or within relationships, and that it implies recognition and respect and trust, but it goes a long way beyond that to really that understanding, who am I? And that's why I believe that what Desmond Tutu says is so, so true, that I'm a person, or a person is a person through other persons. It is not, I think, therefore I am. It says rather, I am human because I belong, I participate, I share. It is an organic, transactional process of becoming, constantly becoming. But it can only be discovered in that non-judgmental self-observation. I was told I have to stop. That's good. Thank you.
And who's next up? Cheryl? Great. Canada.
Canada. Are we out there? I'm so proud to be able to talk in front of all of you to represent Canada, and especially Western Canada. And I have a secret. Can you keep it? It's a really, really big secret, and you have to keep it a secret until the 12th of May, because it doesn't become public knowledge until then. But I get to share it with you now. And it's called iGen. And it's an intergenerational classroom that will be beginning at Sherbrooke Community Centre in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan in September of 2014. We have a partnership with the Saskatoon Public School Board to have 24 grade 6 students and their teacher who will come to Sherbrooke every day, and we will be their classroom. The care partners will include the teacher, the students, the elders, their families, and all of us who are care partners at Sherbrooke Community Centre. We've been working on this for a very long time. I believe we've been working on this since the day we began to adopt the Eden Alternative philosophy. And one of our staff reminded us that some of the earliest work that we did was when we invited our own children to come and be volunteers at Sherbrooke. And I'm very proud to say that my son Davis was one of those very early pioneers of being a child or a student right there in the nursing home. And at 24 years old today, he knows how much he has learned from the elders and from all of the work. As a matter of fact, the children help us to grow so much. My son has been one of my greatest teachers. And so I am so excited that we are going to, every year, have 24 new students who come to teach us. So what better could exemplify growth? That human growth must never be separated from human life. What better to exemplify that than to bring together the children and the elders of the world to help each other to grow? And for their classroom to be not about, and they will do all of the curriculum. There's no question about that. They will learn all of the things that grade 6 or 6th graders, or however you say it in your country, will learn. All of that will be a part of it. And then they will go out to the world, and we'll have planted those seeds, and they will be the leaders of tomorrow. They will learn through doing. They will learn through their relationships. And just the fact that they're there every day and a part of everything that we do will be so important. What better way to enrich and diversify the human habitat? We've had children as a part of our organization on our Eden journey from the very beginning. We do have a children's daycare, Oak Trees and Acorns, where 36 children from infants to preschoolers are there every day. And so this is just a continuation of that. And I'm really excited to tell you that in 2 years' time, I'm pretty sure Carrie Albert, who is our teacher, who is an absolute phenomenon, will be back to our conference, to our Eden Alternative International Conference, and will be presenting about the great successes and the great challenges, because we know there will be challenges as well. And so we will be able to help to learn and grow, and we really hope to be able to help all of you to learn and grow in that way and continue to. So we are going to be carrying on with this journey, and I'm so excited to be a part of it. And so, is our secret safe? Thank you.
For you Eastern Canada people, we have Kathleen, who Burnett, who isn't able to join us at this conference this year. I think it's the first one she's missed, probably. So we have the east side and the west side. So really growing Eden for us. So next.
Thank you. Can you hear me? I bring you a story from Denmark. And I have to apologize my manuscript, because if it had been in Danish, I would have told it without manuscript, but for my own safety and well-being, it is so necessary for me. The Danish storyteller, H.C. Andersen, often started his fairy tale with words, Once upon a time. I'll do the same, but instead of telling a fairy tale, I'll tell you a story from the real life. But just to give it a little touch of H.C. Andersen, I'll put on my top hat. Not yet. So, thank you. It's a little bit small. It is not from H.C. Andersen time, but nearly. We have grown bigger with our heads in Denmark since then. So, once upon a time, in the middle of Denmark, there was a municipality called Assens with 9 small nursing homes. All the nursing homes are implementing the Eden alternative. And in the end of this year, all leaders and all staff members in the nursing home will be, in the 9 nursing homes, will be Eden associates. And in addition, they have great political support. The brand new chairman of the social committee has just read Bill Thomas's book, Life Worth Living, and she is very enthusiastic about it. But, as it sometimes happens, one of the homes had to say goodbye to their leader and search for a new one. And it was important to find a good one. Kit Lucene Petersen, the functional manager in the municipality, and I think a few of you have met her in Denmark or Iceland, she asked herself the question, what is a good nursing home leader? She knew what she needed. She needed a nice person able to operate. The staff members had influence on the choice of the new nursing home leader by the appointments committee. But what about the elders and their families? What did they want from the new leader? So Kit decided to do the recruitment of the new leader in the Eden way, and invited 2 elders and 1 family member from the home to participate in the complete process of finding the new nursing home leader. Imagine how these 2 elders, Bodil Hansen and Henry Harndal, were surprised. They had never thought of the possibility, and I think it is the first time ever it has happened in Denmark that elders and family members join the appointments committee. Bodil and Henry attended every meeting in the lodge, as the 2 of them called it. So, yeah, there you see them. They participated in writing the job adverts where their requests were mentioned. You can see them there too. They wanted a person visible, accessible, and equal. They read all the applications and they participated in selecting the persons they wanted to see to a job interview and participated in all the job interviews. They did a fantastic job. And of course, they had many good and some nervous feelings about the big responsibility they felt. However, they were so honored, so proud, so grateful, and so happy because their knowledge and wisdom could be used. It was important for them to find a person who wanted to be an equal member of their family, participate in the joy and sorrow in everyday life, eating meals and drinking coffee together, and possess a good balance between listening and talking. That was the person they wanted to find and choose. When the interviews were finished, there were 2 candidates to the job. 2 clever and nice persons who really wanted to be the new leader. It was difficult to make a choice. How could that be finished? The 2 elders were given the possibility to decide which person they should employ, and they did not hesitate. They wanted Anne-Marie Havndrup. And when she later asked them why, they answered, "Because you were the one most equal with us." And often when they meet in the nursing home, they say to Anne-Marie, "We chose you." And how are you? Because they feel great responsibility for her well-being in the new job. Bodil and Henry did not know each other before they became members of the lodge. But this process became the start of a fantastic friendship. And, as H.C. Andersen maybe would have written, they lived happily ever after.
Yes. Yes.
That was wonderful. Thank you. It was good.
And as a represent from, and with regards from Diana from Holland, who unfortunately could not either participate today, we were asked from Denmark, because we are here, both of us, during this conference, to talk about security also. And because of time issue, we chose an example from Denmark as well. So you have to live with two examples of well-being domains from Denmark. What I will do is to change the view and say what happens to leaders and staff members being taught in these well-being domains. And we have been so lucky that we have had Alpower in Denmark twice now to educate in dementia beyond drugs. And during one of those trainings, we were requested to bring up an example from the Danish real world, and Marianne from one of the participating nursing homes, she told us about a male. He previously have lived most of his life alone. He have been addicted both to alcohol and other things, and he have become to live with a poorly sight and a poorly hearing. He is a huge challenge, or he was a huge challenge to every staff member and to Marianne as the leader of that nursing home. It was so difficult because of his fremtoning, the way he looks, the way he smells, the way he behaves, to continuously behave okay together with him. It was a huge challenge to everyone. They didn't hesitate. They were convinced that he felt himself insecure and he felt very unwanted. They didn't want him there. He could read it from out their body language. So Marianne asked to all of us in the class, what can we do together now learning about these well-being domains? And we discussed that during the class with Alpower. After this class with Alpower, Marianne, oh, I have to switch, you can see that, that's Marianne. And what she did after that class, she decided that class became the changing point of Marianne's impression of that man and impression of her own self, her influence on that man's life. So she decided, I will change my own behavior. I will be with him, I will spend time with him, I will care for him, and I will like him. See him as a fellow human being. I will say yes to him, no matter how he smells, and that he cannot hear me, and that I myself have a hearing aid. Only in that way equality can be achieved. So we have to accept being while we are doing together with him. After her own personal transformation and her empowering the staff to try to feel the same way, she have told us that we now really saw him each morning. We addressed him by name, touched him kindly, in a well-mannered way. We prioritized genuine personal contact everywhere in our house. And the results of that transformation in this house where Marianne and this man lives, he has become much more calm. He expresses more safety. Dare to be together with all the others and enters the cafe in the house much more often. And his feeling of comfort and security have sensitively increased remarkably. So a huge transformation from the leader in first hand made that man feel much more well-being during everyday life, and so did all others in that house. Thank you.
These stories are amazing. And I can't help to think about the connections that are being made. Is connection next? Connecting? Oh, I didn't know that, but because I'm hoping you feel that the stories, no matter where you go in the world, they're similar. And I just love the power of this. Okay, here you go. Connect us, June.
Hi. Connectedness. I was given the well-being domain of connectedness. And I have 3 stories from the United Kingdom, which I think depict connectedness. Would you like to hear my stories? Good. Okay. This is a story from Bennett House. Bennett House has a very, very good relationship with its local brownie troupe. Do you have brownies here? Right, baby guides. But this was a very, very special visit. If you can see, they're all in their pajamas. Yeah? Well, they went there in the evening, they played games with the residents, and then they got in their pajamas, and they had their cocoa, and they had their stories, and then they all went along, this was the children, not the adults, went along to the activity room, where they had a makeshift tent. And they had their sleepover. In the morning, they got up, had breakfast with the residents, and went home. This is not an ordinary activity. This was something really special. So, staying connected with the younger generation keeps us young at heart. Would you agree? Right. My next story is about the residents and staff of a home in Kent. Amherst, it's called. The staff spoke to the residents and they said, what would you like to do? Well, they wanted to make bird boxes. So a couple of staff and a couple of residents went along to our local B&Q. B&Q being a DIY store. Where they lived was a big one, a very big one. But they went to get their supplies. But whilst they were there, they noticed in the middle of this shop was a workshop going on. And it was a carpentry workshop. And there were children and DIY enthusiasts actually making things. So the staff thought to themselves, why not our guys? So cutting a very long story short, our guys went along. The stipulation was that one carer to one resident when they went along, because they were a little bit skeptical. Anyhow, the upshot of it was, after an hour of being back in the home after they'd made their boxes, they had a telephone call from the manager. When are they coming again? It's now a regular event. They go once a month, and they have made flower boxes, they've made individual trays, and the staff at the B&Q now squabble amongst themselves to be who's going to be with these people. So, staying connected with the community, these people are saying, we're not invisible, we're still here, particularly those people living with dementia. And my final story is about Ferdinand. Ferdinand and the lady from Hungary. The lady from Hungary has been in this country a long time. This in the United Kingdom for a long time. I'm very confused here. And Ferdinand, he comes from the Philippines. Oh my goodness, only 1 minute. He'd just done his Eden training, and he was looking after this lady who had, as her dementia progressed, lost her English language. Can you imagine what it's like living in a country where you can't understand what people are saying? Yeah? Anyhow, Ferdinand had just done his Eden training, and as far as he was concerned, he was empowered. He went home and he got his iPad, and he took his iPad along to the home, and between them, they found Hungarian programs. You can see the smile on her face. Yes? And it was so successful that the home have now raised money to buy several more iPads. Okay? So staying connected with the past helps you to remember the really good times. Yes? Particularly with when you haven't got the language. Thank you very much.
I get to talk about meaning. I've got to make sure I understand how this works. Oh, here we go. So I want to share a story with you about a home in New Zealand called Elizabeth Knox Home and Hospital. We'll just call it Knox. They have 135 elders that live there. 2 years ago, they won the Eden Seedling Award, and they have grown from strength to strength in developing their community. And I want to talk to you about their volunteer program, because we always say we don't have enough people to help us do things to support the elders outside of our normal care partner team. So last year, they made it their mission they would grow their volunteers. They started with 15 people. This is last May 2013. So we're not even 12 months in yet. And I saw them in November last year at a conference. And in 6 months, they had grown their team then to 120 volunteers. Some of the reasons why they wanted to increase their volunteer base was to really look at improving companionship, to give back, to get residents' stories. And they have a Kit A bag, which I'll talk to you about outside, which helps them to do that. And also to improve the sort of literacy, numeracy capacity of their community, not just elders, but the people who are coming to be their volunteers. So they started with that. So that was the why. The how. They went anywhere there was some sort of community connection, they went there. They looked at secondary schools. They went to the university, and they've latched into the psychology department to assist with some research, which is really cool. They've got back to work support, because their community is elders, but also young disabled. And they have a rehabilitative centre which really works on wellness 7 days a week. And Chamber of Commerce. So anyone new to the country, you know, it's like, what am I here for? So it's been quite a powerful thing. I went to their home in February. Their volunteer base is now 280 people, and the place is buzzing. It's not locked into you're here for an hour to do whatever. They come because they want to come. And I did a learning circle, sharing circle with the volunteers, which happened to be some secondary students this particular day. And they're between the ages of 13 and 17. And I said, what inspires you to come and volunteer? And they said, well, you know, I don't have any grandparents. So it's a way for me to have some grandparents. Another girl said, well, you know, in history we learn all this stuff, and then I come here and then I realise that the elders actually have lived this stuff. I make new friends. It's an opportunity for me to learn a language and to fit. And one of my thoughts then was, the volunteering is much more than just the I'm here to volunteer for you, that it actually provides a space for young people to be and to be accepted. So it's just an extraordinary thing that I've seen. And Dr. Al Power was with me in February, and so he saw what can happen. He sat amongst the mayhem, and it was amazing. So we're going to show you a quick video, please. And this is their story, handheld. So music, enjoy.
I've been trying to do it right. I've been living a lonely life. I've been sleeping here instead. I've been sleeping in my bed. Sleeping in my bed. So show me family, all the blood that I will bleed. I don't know where I belong. I don't know where I went wrong. But I can write a song. I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. I don't think you're right for him. Think of what it might have been if you took a bus to Chinatown. I'd be standing on Canal and Bowery. She'd be standing next to me. I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. Love, we need it now. Let's focus on somewhere bleeding now. I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart.
Mean to you?
Smile.
Very fun. All right.
Sharing memories. Eye-opening. Building communities. Life-changing. Relating together. Warm and fuzzy. Memorable. Making friends.
Sally, beautiful. Yeah, you should be proud. You should be proud. Are you ready? I'm very excited that you're here with us.
That was a joy, wasn't it? The music always makes us happy. And to have companionship with real friends is a joy. We experienced that here on this conference, and we will bring that with us to Iceland. And my colleague here, 3 of them, they work at the nursing home that these pictures are from. And I would like you to look at the eyes of the people on the pictures, and look on the faces, and look at their body language. You can see there is joy in their life. And they do experience some spontaneous events, and that's important. and to learn some new things. That's very important. And we have an ongoing program where the high school students come and teach the elderly how to use the computer. And they are very excited about it. And it is a joy to have companionship with animals. The animals are able to meet the psychological, emotional, and social needs of the elderly and the staff as well. 10 years ago in Iceland, it was forbidden to have animals at nursing homes, but now it is allowed. But it is still forbidden in independent living seniors places, so we would like to change that. And you can see the animals on the picture. It is not a usual animals you have in house. It's a sheep and yeah, but they have these animals at their home. And Joe is really to be able to give care as well as receive care. And they find a way to give care in any situation. And they give support and care to the plants, so the plants will grow, and to the children. So the children will learn from the elderly and grow from their wisdom and knowledge. And they have a program where the children come regularly at the nursing home and are with the elderly and take part of the daily life. They are not coming just to sing for them or present something they're just coming to be there with them. And it's really a joy for us to be here with you. We feel that you are our friends and you are supporting us to go further in Iceland and in the Scandinavian countries. And do you know how many people live in Iceland? 330,000. That is not a large population. So we can take many things from you to Iceland and keep on growing. Thank you.
Thank you. It's time for more Americans to learn a second language. You are all brave enough to be up here using English as a second language. So thank you for sharing your stories. They were powerful. Did we miss one? Oh, I'm sorry, June.
She thinks we've finished.
Okay, so I gotta make a comment. So I want this to have this as a demonstration. Rain said I was kind of like their mother, which is not really true, but they are like the children, and they misbehave a lot, like this. I said they were done, but no, here they go again, breaking the rules, and may they always do so, because it continues to make me grow. Okay, June, you can have it, you misbehaved child.
When we put this presentation together for you, one of the things that we wanted to do was to leave you with an international message. And our international message to you is well-being should never be compromised for those living with disability, mental and physical frailty, or dementia, whatever their needs might be. Focusing on well-being leads to deeper transformation in the culture change process for everybody. Thank you very much.
Sorry. Thank you. Thank you for coming and joining us. This has been just a delight. I hope you all have met them. I hope you have all planted the seeds to say, maybe I should come to your country and we should do an exchange program. Who has not done that yet for your growth work? You should go up and do some exchange work here and exchange information. What's up next is we are going to turn over, I believe there is a break. We're going to actually be turning over this stage to the elders and the young people very, very soon. And here comes Karen. Okay. Angie. Nope, you got to stay. Angie, do you want them to leave the stage, or do you want them to stay up here? They better stay up here, right? All right. Pardon? Chris would like to come up. Chris Cox. I'm taking my cues here. And here you go, Angie. I'm just going to send this to you. For you and Chris.
Rain. Come up, Rain. Come on, Rain. So, from the elders in our homes, just to really leave you with a message, and I love the message of take the message worldwide, because what we've got going on here is that the elders in our homes wanted to give to the elders in a home in South Africa. I can't pronounce the name, but Rain will do that. And so they, when I say they, I don't mean I had nothing to do with it. I'm only a vehicle for transportation. But they did bake sales and all kinds of things in their communities to give $3,000 to a home in South Africa.
Can we have a picture?
Well, we compose ourselves, as Ray says. I'm not trying not to cry on his shoulder, so.
Go, you can. When Angie first approached me, thanks to Facebook, she said, our elders really, really want to give. And we sent a message out to all our homes in South Africa saying, here is an opportunity to make a connection. And quite a number of homes came up with projects to say why they need for the elders to connect with them. And finally, the elders chose this home. The name of the home is Ekupumleni in an area called Gugulethu. We were asked by the Department of Social Development in South Africa 2 years ago to take over this home and manage it. We have now established a board made up of the elders. Before we got there, this home did not have hot water for 18 months. And honestly, the first time I walked into the home, I saw a rat bigger than my dachshund. For more than 2 years, there was no incontinence wear for the residents, no towels. It was horrific. And what I particularly like about the generosity of spirit of the residents of Signature was that they say this money is going towards simple pleasures. This is not to fall into the bottomless pit of nothing. This is to create joy. And I cannot tell you how much this amount of money translates into our money, because the South African rand is worth zilch. So this is going to bring an enormous amount of joy. And when we told the residents, Margie, my Director of Strategic Partnerships, went to the home and told the residents, and this was the residents' response to this I think you all figured that out. We have made a wonderful connection, and I really invite all of you to not only come to South Africa, but to go to these wonderful countries and see the wonderful work. Come and share, come and learn. Thank you a million times.
Let's say one more thing. Raina and I have a challenge, Sally, and we have a challenge for all of you. So if you're here and you're feeling really comfortable with yourselves today, this is kind of intended to put you outside your comfort zone just a little bit and inspire you to reach outside your borders. So just think about what your borders are in your communities. Reach outside your borders, wherever they are, with your elders to help create well-being. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.